Think of how narcissists will betray you again if you ever thought of going back with them. Reconciling with a narcissistic ex can be a tricky and emotionally taxing process. It's important to understand that a narcissist is someone who is highly self-absorbed and lacks empathy for others. This type of personality can make it difficult to have a healthy and successful relationship. However, if you still feel strongly about reconciling with your narcissistic ex, there are a few things to consider before jumping back into the relationship. You should understand that a narcissist's behavior is unlikely to change. Narcissism is a personality disorder, and it's unlikely that someone with this disorder will seek help or change their ways. Therefore, if you decide to reconcile with your ex-narcissist, you need to be prepared to accept their behavior and find ways to cope with it. And surely, this is extremely hard as you may risk falling into another toxic cycle again. Therefore, establishing boundaries and clear expectations for the relationship are very important. Narcissists often have a tendency to manipulate and control those around them. To protect yourself, it's important to set clear boundaries and communicate them to your ex. Establish clear expectations for the relationship, such as what you expect in terms of communication, respect, and commitment. Okay, so you still want to reconcile with the narcissist. What's the deal? Is everything all right? I understand. I know how life-changing and terrible your connection with the narcissist was. If you're like most people, you're wondering, okay, I really want to know how I can make this relationship work with the narcissist, or even if there is a possibility that I can make a relationship with a narcissist work. If this is something you're interested in pursuing, let's discuss your options and how to proceed. Here, no one will pass judgment on you. I really understand. I know what you're thinking. This whole situation is incredibly challenging. So tell me, what should I do? How do I save this failing romance? Or is it possible to reunite with a self-absorbed person? Can this even be possible? You may have these questions for a while. Any media you've seen maybe tell you not to get back with them. Don't do it. You may think you need your head checked. That's what everyone is telling you. Although privately, you may wonder, I guess I need to know whether it is really doable. Do you think we have a chance to be together? In fact, you would be forgiven for thinking that, as I believe most people would feel the same. Yes, I understand what you mean. To a T, I understand. But before you make this change or this decision, I want to discuss certain things with you. Your relationship with a narcissist will likely be the most intense one you've ever been in. Yes, it's almost as if the highs will be incredible. You'll have a ton of memories, and you'll have had some fun moments with the narcissist, but they will be just as terrible as everyone else. They would have caused you to act badly. If you'd given them your genuine feelings of caring, sympathy, and understanding, you'd have realized that you were actually doing them a favor. You, too, would have treated them with nothing but wonderful, unconditional admiration. You would have encouraged them to recognize how much support they can count on from you while they work through their difficulties. I know you're stuck with other narcissists because of this. A trauma bond is another name for this type of relationship. This is called a trauma bond when you feel a connection to someone so strong that you want to talk to them even though they've caused you harm. It's hard to disengage because you want to tell them how much they've hurt you, but you know it will only worsen things. You'll have a ton of memories, and you'll have had some fun moments with the narcissist, but they will be just as terrible as everyone else. They would have caused you to act badly. If you'd given them your genuine feelings of caring, sympathy, and understanding, you'd have realized that you were actually doing them a favor. You, too, would have treated them with nothing but wonderful, unconditional admiration. You would have encouraged them to recognize how much support they can count on from you while they work through their difficulties. I know you're stuck with other narcissists because of this. A trauma bond is another name for this type of relationship. This is called a trauma bond when you feel a connection to someone so strong that you want to talk to them even though they've caused you harm. It's hard to disengage because you want to tell them how much they've hurt you, but you know it will only worsen things. You want to tell them that because they are the solution. You feel like you can relieve your suffering by being in their presence or having a conversation with them. You don't want it to end because of how unpleasant it is. I understand your point, but staying in an abusive relationship is never the answer. That's right. It's really severe and quite dangerous. This individual cares only about receiving your approval and adoration emotionally. This is what they're hoping to achieve, and this is what they're really looking for. They won't be constantly obsessed with you, and they're not the same person they were when you first met them. They won't always treat you like an angel. They do this only once, at the start of the relationship, when they are trying to win you over. And it's particularly effective early on because once they have you, they've got you good. When narcissists realize they have your unconditional acceptance, they are free to be themselves, warts and all. This gives them the impression that you agree with them. Because of this, narcissists are free to be who they really are, which is abusive. They're plotting against you in secret, defaming you, making you feel bad, and stealing everything you have worked hard for. That's who they are, and this is what they expected the other person to be like when they started dating. This beautiful individual who elevates and makes you feel fantastic is no longer in your life. Your future exposure to them will consist solely of crumbs. You will get glimpses of their appreciation, but only in little doses. They won't treat you as they did at the beginning of the relationship. Don't focus only on the good things you have with them. That may never happen again. They are reflecting back to you what you are giving them. Thus, it is safe to assume that this is an example of projection. You aren't contributing in the way you should be, and that's why they view you as expendable. You're going against their wishes, and it means paying them the time of day and showing them kindness, care, and concern. They're hoping for and counting on you to do it. That's why they'll stop giving you credit and will drain your vitality from now on. And you're thinking the whole time, all right, if I give in and do what they want, then we'll be right back where we started. That's the one you're going to end up with. However, I am here to dissuade you. It is not the case at all. One should never expect narcissists to revert to their initial lovable behaviors. There will be glimpses of it, but they won't actually do it on a consistent basis. They will only show that ideal version of themselves when it is convenient or beneficial for them. Remember, a narcissist's only concern is themselves and their own needs. So, it is important to understand that any attempt to reconcile or make the relationship work will most likely be futile. It is important to focus on your own well-being and move on from the toxic relationship. The cycle of devaluation, discard, and re-engagement is a pattern that will inevitably repeat itself. Narcissists are only concerned with their own needs and will use manipulation tactics to maintain control over their partners. They will not provide the same level of care and attention as they did at the beginning of the relationship. It is important to recognize this pattern and make the decision to move on from the toxic relationship. Rekindling a romance with a narcissist will not be as exciting or fulfilling as it was in the beginning. It's important to focus on your own well-being and self-respect. You are more susceptible to influence and control when you are not in a state of energizing flow. This has nothing to do with love or a mutually beneficial relationship. Rather, the other person is using manipulation and control to get what they want from you. They will learn to be someone you want them to be in the beginning, and then reveal their true selves after they have acquired you. They are bitter, broken, and constantly looking for opportunities to exert power and influence. They are not searching for a committed life partner. They are only interested in what you have to offer. This behavior will lead to devaluation and ultimately being discarded. If this is the type of connection you seek, a relationship with a narcissist may be a good fit. However, it is important to note that nothing will change and the outcome will always be the same, regardless of your actions or words. They cannot form healthy attachments or let go of you due to their attachment issues. Just because they are still in contact with you or present in your life does not mean they care about you or will ever change or miss you. It is not a sign of affection or caring. Instead, it is a sign that the narcissist is pleased with themselves and able to manipulate and attract you. It is important to consider what is happening in the present and think about whether you value yourself too highly to settle for that type of relationship in the future. Do you believe that you deserve something better? Removing yourself from a narcissist's influence will not be easy, but it's the best thing to do. There are others who have done it, and you can too. It is important to think about the impact on your mental and physical well-being if you continue in a relationship with a narcissist. Staying with a narcissist puts you in a constant state of anxiety and nervousness. It is never worth staying in a relationship just because it feels good at the moment. When considering saving a relationship with a narcissist, it is important to keep in mind that they are not capable of change. Therefore, it is not the best option. It is important to give this information deep thought and consideration. If you have been thinking about returning to the relationship, it is important to reevaluate that decision. I hope you find this information helpful and that it assists you in making the best decision for yourself. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to creating more content for you. Have a nice day.